Good morning and welcome to this unboxing of the new Fuji XT4 and a little bit of stuff. The battery grip and two of the new batteries that I got separately. Let's dive into it. I was so excited about this new camera because of IBIS, a little bit of other improvements like frame rates, a new battery, longer battery life and stuff like that. But also, it is the first camera that I don't got in all black. So that's something to be excited about. Let's put the Fuji camera aside and start with the batteries. Since forever, Fuji had these small, these small batteries. And they were fine, and I mean, over the years, you stack up quite a bunch of them. I think I got like 15 of those with all the cameras. But they were kind of outdated at some point. So I was really excited when they announced that they get newer batteries with more capacity and just like get them up to date. So the difference is a little bit size-wise, of course, but also from the capacity point, you go up from 1260 milliamp to 2200. So that's quite a bump. It's not double, but I mean, it's a significant improvement. The new camera has a little bit more stuff to power, like internal image stabilization and stuff. But we will see how that holds up. They say you get 500 shots out of one full charge. We see how that holds up in a field test. But I'm very excited about these new batteries. Now, there was one issue with these batteries, or rather the communication with these batteries, because in the beginning, when they announced the camera and the battery grip and that they got new batteries, they announced that for the price of the battery grip, which is 330 euros, it's insane. They announced that they're gonna add two batteries to that pack. Now that was the only reason I ordered it, because I thought, well, 330 for just the battery grip it's just freaking nuts. But with two batteries, and they are going for 70 each, that's a good deal. But then, when they delivered it, they said, no batteries included. So I had to get them separately. And that was quite a bummer, but what you can do. Now I got two separate and one with the camera, so I have three batteries, power this whole thing up. And it should last me a day of shooting, I hope. Next up, the battery grip. A couple of things change here too. It's a little bit bigger than the one for the XT3, but again, the camera is just a little bit bigger. Not hugely different. You're going to see it in a second, but just a tiny bit. Your typical paperwork. Down here. And there you have it. Now, there are quite a couple of changes. First of all, you got a different dial here with a third mode. You have normal and boost like on the other one, and now you have economy. I'm going to check out and test what that really does and what the difference is from a capacity and from a duration standpoint, both in film and photo mode. Secondly, the batteries go in vertically. On the other grip, you had them like this, horizontally, but now they changed that to vertically, I assume because they're just bigger and it didn't make sense to put them in like this. So I think they just made it vertically. On the back, you have your little knob and a couple of buttons, wheels like on the other one. But then you also have a headphone port. And the reason you have a headphone port here is you don't have it on the camera anymore. They removed that and they put in a dongle for the USB-C to headphone if you want to, but if you want to have a port like that, you have to go here. And then on the other side, you don't have ports, and on here and down here, you don't have ports either. And that is something that I can't wrap my mind around. Why did they do it? Because on the XT3, you had that port, which means you could charge your batteries right in this. You didn't have to bring an extra charger. You just popped into batteries and you had like a dual battery charger right within your battery grip. And if you didn't use it to shoot, you just put it inside, put your batteries in, plug it in an outlet, and you're good to go while you're shooting. And they removed that, which means you have to get the dual charger separately, which is a bummer because first, it's 70 bucks again. But secondly, and that's the bigger thing for me, it's just another piece of gear I have to bring because they removed the charger from the XT4 as well. So you have to charge it via USB-C, so you can't charge and shoot at the same time. I mean, you technically can plug it in and power it through, but you know what I mean. But I guess it's just, they just have to make money in these desperate times. So let's load this baby up with the batteries. Otherwise, from a build quality perspective, it's quite good. Feels sturdy, like you would expect from Fuji. It is plastic, but it feels grippy. And I used the other grips extensively as well, and they hold up pretty good even after years, even with the XT1. So it feels like a solid grip. And I kind of like that they didn't make it too slim because I have kind of big hands. So I can really get a good grip on that. Now, moving on to the star of the show. I just love this clean look from the outside. And if you look up here, silver argent, which means it's not all black this time. Now, I really thought about it, and I thought about just getting it all black because I don't like my gear to be too flashy. But I thought, well, why not? Just have some fun. I actually got another camera that was kind of duotone, and this is the XA7, which has this darkish color over here next to the black. And that got me a little bit into it. That got me into this, well, maybe I try duotone next time I go with the new flagship model. So I did. But I don't want to bore you too much, so let's get into this. Now, I have all of the paperwork. Now, one thing, Fuji, if you're listening, which I know you don't, is if you put in a manual like this, just a thought for 2020, it would be time to make a video manual where you have someone from your team get through this and go deep into the functions and the functionalities and show us in the camera how it's done instead of putting in this, because we just don't read it. And sometimes it would be useful for little functions for someone to explain to us. Just a thought. There she is. We're gonna get to her in a second. Now, let's get her out the way. You have your usual stuff. Now this is your charger, which is kind of cool because it's portable, because they make that to remove it, and it's slimmer like the other one. And you just plug it in and it goes from USB-C to USB-C. That's your charging cable. I mean, it's kind of cool because everything goes to USB-C lately, so less cables. one more battery to add to the bunch, and that's your dongle. Dongle. That's just a funny word. And that's your USB-C to headphone jack dongle if you don't have the battery grip and you still want to monitor your audio. Now, you also get the camera strap, classic Fuji. It's a little bit rubbery on here and it's very comfy to wear. Now, I stopped using these years and years back. I cannot tell you why exactly, but yeah, I just stopped using them and never looked back. Now, isn't it satisfactory just like to peel stuff off? There she is. Doesn't she look amazing in these two colors? Because it's like a darkish silver, it's not like, it's just this matte finish. I just like it. Now, this is what it's all about. This is the new camera. A lot of it is familiar. A couple of things are different. Let's get into it. Now, first and foremost, the thing that you immediately notice is on the back. For the first time, they got a fully articulate screen in a flagship camera from them. It folds out, turns around, it's just... They started this with the XA7 and I'm very happy they brought it here. It's a little bit different because we are so used to this articulation of these screens from the lineup from XT1 to XT3 that it's crazy that you have to fold it out to tilt it up. But I just love that you can just don't need an external monitor like I use now to monitor yourself or to have lower shots or stuff like that. Because one thing you had with the other cameras is as soon as you go low, your view from the top part of the image is blocked by your eyepiece here. And that's gone. And you have to watch your cable management, of course, on the side ports. But we are going to get into that. Now, the screen. It's brighter, has a little bit more resolution, but all in all, always has been a good screen. I'm sure it's going to be a good screen too. On the side, you have two doors now. You have one for HDMI and one for USB-C. And on the top, you have mic and remote. They made them non-removable anymore. I'm not exactly sure why, because especially if you use a cape, that's very useful. But I'm sure there were some reasons. Now, in the front you have your usual dials, nothing really changed. And on this side you have UHS 2, like always, just they put them above each other and not next to each other. Now, this build quality feels really good, feels really, really solid and durable. On the top, you have like your hot shoe and then your eyepiece. And then they did something amazing, something very amazing, because they made the switch from photo to video really, really simple. With this little button here, you just change it like that. I mean, I've been wanting something like that for so long, and it's finally here. It's so easy. And it also, as soon as you switch, it switches menus, custom, for still and photo, and it remembers these settings. And they started doing that kind of with the XT3, and that's just amazing. Yeah, this is the camera. Now let's put everything in. And that's quite a nice package. Now, I really like it when cameras are not too fiddly light, and especially with APS-C or mirrorless cameras in general. They tend to be very light, and especially for handheld shooting, I like it if it goes a little bit more heavy, because if the camera is more sturdy and heavy, you remove these micro jitters that you get. I kind of like that, but it's just a personal preference. And now this vertical grip is really nice as well, as I said before. Now I can see me use that package, and it's still very compact. So I really like that one. You got your familiar sensor, 26 megapixels. And they added one more thing that I'm excited about, and it's a new Eterna profile. Now, I've been shooting in Eterna for a long time, and I like this flat color profile, this more cinematic look, like right out the box. And now they added, for the first time, Eterna Bleach Bypass, which is a profile that's even more flat. And I can't wait to use it. I saw it in the promotional video and in one like little content piece they did to promote this camera and to promote this new profile, and I think it looked quite amazing. We see how that holds up in everyday situations, or if I want to shoot a little cinematic sequence, or if it's too far out in the creative field. And let's find out how usable it is. And let's take this baby out in the city through day and through night and test everything out, from the dynamic range to log to 4K 60 to, for the first time, 240 frames per second in 1080. And 120 in 1080 was really good, and they improved that here as well. The image is crispier. But 240, that's exciting. That's really exciting, especially if you want to slow down stuff, dropping or water or fire or lighter or something like that. I can't wait to play around with it and compare 25, 30, 60, 120 and 240 frames to each other and show you the difference that it makes if you can slow down time and movement that much. So one more little detail before I take it out. Now you can shoot 20 frames a second and 15 frames a second with mechanical shutter, and both with autofocus. So they improved the autofocus as well. Now, I don't want to go too deep into tech stuff because I have a separate video plan for that. This should be just like a clean unboxing with a little bit of information around it. But so far so good. Well then, I'm gonna put on a nice lens, take this baby out, and show you what you can achieve with the new Fuji XT4, and also how it compares to the XT3. Because for a lot of people out there using the XT3, they might think, is it worth upgrading and paying 1,700 euros in Germany for the XT4? Or are you still good with the XT3? Same sensor, stuff like that. We're going to find that out. We're going to find out how big of a difference the internal image stabilization makes, and if it's worth an upgrade. Now, if you like this video, smash the like button and consider subscribing for more content like this, more field tests and more comparisons around cameras, mostly Fuji. And thanks for watching. See you with the camera and see you outside. Peace.